Let us embark on a journey into the private world of one of the most beloved and respected figures in the Middle East, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai. Behind the grandeur of palaces and the shimmering skyline lies a deeply personal and emotional saga that has captured the attention of many. This is the story of love, sacrifice, duty, and the impossible choices that come when personal desires collide with royal expectations. In recent months, the world has watched as rumors swirled and whispers turned into headlines regarding Sheikh Hamdan's relationship with Hadia Zen. What began as a quiet connection blossomed into a love story that resonated beyond the confines of the royal court. But as all stories rooted in emotion and tradition go, their path was never destined to be simple. This chapter in Sheikh Hamdan's life began with an air of uncertainty. Hadia Zen, a graceful and private woman with a heart full of dreams, had once become an inseparable part of the prince's life. Their moments together were more than romantic interludes, they were reflections of vulnerability, understanding, and unspoken promises. Yet the winds of fate and responsibility had other plans. As discussions emerged surrounding Hadia's potential departure from the United Arab Emirates, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. It wasn't just a rumor, it was a painful possibility that shook the very foundation of Sheikh Hamdan's emotional world. Those closest to him began to notice a visible change. The once vibrant, spirited crown prince, known for his adventurous spirit and poetic soul, began to retreat into himself. The light in his eyes dulled, his voice softened, and the joy that once defined him became a distant memory. Hadia's impending departure left a silent ache in his heart. Yet in the darkest of times, a true friend often appears. Shama al-Falasi, a long-trusted confidant, observed the shadows growing in Hamdan's demeanor and knew she had to intervene. With quiet conviction, she urged him to confront the truth in his heart and bring it to the one man who could potentially alter the course of his destiny, his father, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai. This was not an easy request. As a son, Sheikh Hamdan revered his father. As a crown prince, he feared the unbending traditions his title demanded. Still, Shama's words lingered in his thoughts like an echo. If you truly love her, don't let regret speak louder than your heart. And so, he wrestled with himself for days, torn between duty and desire, until finally, he made a choice. He would speak his truth. The palace, as majestic as it was intimidating, stood still that day. Sheikh Hamdan requested a private audience with his father, and every step he took toward the grand hall felt like a lifetime. Sheikh Mohammed awaited him, his face unreadable, his posture stern yet regal. Hamdan bowed respectfully before beginning, but when he spoke, his voice trembled with sincerity. "Father," he said, "I have walked the road you designed for me, carried the weight of our name with pride, and served this nation with all my strength. But my heart belongs to someone who does not fit within the framework of what is expected. I do not seek your permission to be reckless, I seek your blessing to be true. I love Hadia Zen, I wish to build a life with her, not as a prince, but as a man." His words, courageous and vulnerable, hung heavily in the air. The silence that followed was suffocating. Sheikh Mohammed's eyes, once calm, flashed with a firmness only a ruler could possess. As crown prince, you are not free to choose as others do. Your heart must serve your people before it serves itself. If you insist on pursuing this relationship, you will do so without my approval, and perhaps, without your future as heir. The pain in those words was sharper than any blade. Hamdan's heart shattered silently. He did not argue. He simply nodded, turned away, and left the room with tears brimming in his eyes. That day, he walked not as a prince, but as a broken man, his heart torn between love and legacy. Meanwhile, far from the palace's echoing halls, Hadia Zen had made a decision of her own. She had seen the weight Hamdan carried, and she refused to be the reason he bore more. Silently, she began preparing to leave the country she had once called home. With a quiet determination, she instructed her financial advisors to dissolve her holdings, close her accounts, and arrange a smooth transition to a new life abroad. She did not look back, she did not reach out. Her heart ached, but her resolve remained. On April 26, 2025, Hadia stood before the gates of her villa, one final time. Dressed in simplicity, her suitcase beside her, she breathed in the warm Dubai air and whispered a soft goodbye. As her car drove off toward the airport, she didn't know that in the distance, hidden in the shadows of date palms and silence, Sheikh Hamdan watched. He had arrived hours before, uncertain of what he was seeking. Perhaps it was closure, perhaps a miracle. But as her car disappeared from view, he felt something inside him collapse. He didn't chase after her. He simply stood there, silently honoring her farewell with one of his own. That evening, the palace remained eerily quiet. No staff disturbed Sheikh Hamdan. In his private chambers, he sat alone, his dinner untouched. The moonlight streamed through the tall windows, and beneath its glow, he picked up a pen and a notebook, his sacred refuge. Line after line, his sorrow poured onto the page. The poem he wrote was not just an ode to lost love, but a lament for the man he could not become. He wrote of promises made in silence, of glances that said everything, of moments stolen from time. He wrote of how she had awakened something human in him, something tender, unguarded, real. The final line read, "In the kingdom of gold, I lost the only jewel I ever truly loved." The poem, later leaked to the public by a trusted aide, would become a sensation, not because it came from royalty, but because it spoke to every heart that had ever loved and lost. It was raw, unedited, and painfully sincere. But this was not the end of the story. Sheikh Mohammed, though resolute in his stance, was not immune to the quiet ache he saw in his son's eyes. Behind the mask of leadership, he was still a father. In an unexpected turn, he ordered his aides to locate Hadia Zen and request her presence, for a private audience. Was this an act of final closure? Or was it a father's last effort to understand the woman who had reshaped his son's world? As the days move forward, the future remains uncertain. Hadia, now in a foreign land, carries within her the memories of a love that, as the days move forward, the future remains uncertain. Hadia, now in a foreign land, carries within her the memories of a love that almost was. Sheikh Hamdan, ever the loyal prince, carries on with his duties, but not without the hollow space where her laughter once lived. What will unfold next? Will time soften Sheikh Mohammed's stance? Will destiny carve out a path for the lovers once again? Or will the poem remain the final chapter of their epic love? Only time will tell. Stay tuned for the next video, where we'll explore the deeper meaning behind Sheikh Hamdan's poem and the powerful emotional currents that shaped every verse. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts. Do you believe Sheikh Hamdan and Hadia deserve another chance? Or is love in the royal world destined to be sacrificed? Thank you for being a part of this emotional journey.